Hi guys, this is Klazart being another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on Game 5 of the Group A OSL round of 32 matchup between Casey and Bako, and this is to be played on Troy, which is considered generally to be, I think, more balanced in favor of Protoss, particularly because of the fact that Protoss have shuttles as part of their normal build, and because those assimilators that can be blown up and narrow off the opponent's base, especially since Terrans would probably have the greatest amount of difficulty with that. So with that in mind, this is supposed to be in favor of Protoss, but the statistics don't really reveal that. The statistics are pretty even, 5-4, but you've got to remember Flash's stomping win over Stork on this map. So I think Terran players don't really have to worry as much as we thought they might have to. Nevertheless, it's not a map that I'm fond of. I don't particularly think it's a very balanced map, but it has produced some decent and exciting games of StarCraft, so hopefully we'll see one between these two guys here today. I am severely disappointed that Jaedong has gone out, being a Zerg fan, but hopefully Jaedong going away will give Savior perhaps a little bit more incentive to reassert his position as the dominant Zerg player, and perhaps give him an opportunity to get through, although he's got a tough group to pull through as well. Both players starting up with their initial barracks gateway build, so Bako putting the gateway down and sending his probe immediately out to scout, which is a wise move. I would probably have thought it would have been better off sending the probe out to scout right after building the pylon, getting that early scout in, especially versus a Terran player who has already rushed once in this matchup. And that's the thing. I mean, it takes real guts. Okay, I think it was a good percentage chance to rush on a map like Gwangdo, but despite that, I think to rush where there's only a one game, where it's not a best of 3, and to risk it all in the first game, I think that takes a lot of guts. And Casey has certainly shown that he's willing to do that, and he's able to do that. And Casey going for the second rack, so Casey started up his second barracks, and Bako's got his gateway up and running, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategies these guys come out with and how they're going to cope with each other on this map. I personally would favor Casey to go through. I think he's a strong player, and Bako now starting up his assimilator as well. Casey, I don't think he started taking his extractor out, and I'm not sure. And with the 2 barracks, it looks like he might be actually trying to go for a bio rush, which is not, and that's why he's blocked his assimilator. So I should have actually copped that the moment I saw the first racks. Now he's got a marine to block. So Casey using the 2 assimilators to advantage, not allowing his opponent to get the scout in, and the fact that Bako has taken the assimilator and is going to go for a tech might actually play into Casey's hands. If Casey can get a group of medic and marines down ASAP, he might be able to actually do something. So now Casey's sending the SCV to scout. The only thing that's going to work against Casey is the fact that he's got to go cross-map to reach his opponent. So he's got a long distance to cover. So Casey is rushing again. He rushed against, and I'm not sure what that says about his confidence, or whether he's just an excited player. And that was careless micro by Casey, losing one of his marines already. He's going to struggle to stop the Zealot from getting through. He's trying to micro and trying to stop the Zealot, but that Zealot is going to get through. One of the other marines gets taken out. He's now surely seen the 2 barracks, and that rush is going to fail for Casey. Casey's probably going to lose this game, I feel, and it looks like Bako, against the odds, against all expectations, is going to be the one to qualify. So Casey's now going to have to commit himself. More Zealots streaming through. Bako, I'm sure, is going to change his build order to adapt. He's immediately starting up a second gateway. I think he might have probably tried to go for a Nexus instead. Now Casey's going to find out where Bako's base is, and Casey's in huge trouble here because he should have kept an SCV in front of his marines at that choke once he saw the Zealot coming. He didn't have it in time, and now he's in huge trouble. He's going to commit himself with an SCV marine rush, hoping that he can catch Bako off guard before Bako can get that second gateway into play. It's going to be real touch and go here. Remember, Bako's going to be able to pull his probes off the line. He's only got 3 marines, 3 Zealots there to defend him. 3 Zealots versus 5 marines. Casey cleverly sending the SCV down. If he can, he should send that SCV right into Bako's base and try and pull those Zealots away from that front and then focus down on that gateway. He's not doing that, and he's committing himself for this attack here. I don't think this is going to work. He's obviously going to try and build a bunker in, but versus those Zealots who are up on the ramp, 3 Zealots, I don't think that he's got a chance. Bako hasn't pulled his probes out. He's going to probably pull them out now. Casey needs to start that bunker straight away, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's starting to, he's brought more. Dragoon actually pops out, so he's popping out a Dragoon, and that's going to help him immensely, along with the 3 Zealots. Even if Casey managed to get a bunker up, I think this is going to be Bako's game. Even if he takes the 1 gateway out, there's more gateways in the back. Now Bako committing himself to the attack. He's sending the Zealots through. Casey's trying to take them out. Casey's lost a couple of marines already, loses another marine. He's only got 2 marines left. The bunker is not yet complete. This attack is going to fail. Casey's going to get taken out by Bako. Great play by Bako. And to be honest, after the way Casey defeated Jaedong in the first game with a rush, I'm glad to see it fail on this occasion. occasion and him get his just comeuppance. But that being said, Bako also did rush Jaedong as well in game 2. So looks like Bako not letting KC get in via the backdoor versus him. And unfortunately for KC, he had to know that denying the scout was imperative. He didn't count on the fact that his opponent would send a Zealot out, but you should expect that as a Terran player, that the opponent will send the Zealot in at least to do a harass, if nothing else. Casey's going to have a second attempt here. He's got more Marines in this time, and he's actually managed to take one of the Zealots off before it hits his Marine line. He's got a couple of SCVs blocking, and he's lost another couple of Marines. He's just got no chance here whatsoever. 3 Marines versus 3 Dragoons, even though he's got 4 SCVs. 4 Dragoons versus 3 Marines, and this is it. This is curtains for Casey. Casey's going to go out, and it's going to be GG play and Bako to qualify from this group. Completely insane. I don't think anyone would have predicted that. An exciting game of StarCraft. I didn't think it would turn out to be that. Shows how much I know. But both players really going for it. Casey committing himself with that build, and Bako insisting on getting the scout in behind that SCV. Almost a sixth sense there, getting that Zealot up, getting that scout in. And if Casey, and this game has been changed by Casey not leaving an SCV to block off his Marines. I know he wanted to send an SCV out to scout. He didn't want to spare it. He was stingy, and he's paying the price for it. Had he put an SCV to block his Marines at that choke, he would have probably caught Bako by surprise. Bako wouldn't have put the second gateway down, would have probably put a Nexus down. Casey would have caught him with his pass down and taken the game a la Boxer style. But Casey, we call him the Neo Emperor. I'm sorry guys, he's not. He may be the quote-unquote Neo Emperor, but the Emperor he is not. I don't think this guy is good enough to fill Boxer's shoes. On the evidence of what I've seen here today, I don't think he is, because Boxer would not have allowed that scout to get through, would not have, and Casey wasn't able to do anything about it. And now Bako is in his base. He's got 5 Dragoons there. Casey's got a couple of medics out, but it's too little too late. Bako's managed to micro his Dragoons almost into a corner, but he manages to maneuver them out. Casey fighting with all of his SCVs. He knows this game is lost, but he's still struggling, still trying to salvage something from it. Those Dragoons able to comfortably focus the medic down, and Bako just able to micro those Dragoons around while waiting for more reinforcements to arrive. Casey managed to surround one of the Dragoons, so he's going to take that out with the SCVs. One of the Dragoons gets killed, but meanwhile he's not really mining a lot. Bako's economy meanwhile remains untouched, and I think he's probably started up that second Nexus as well to further enhance his lead. And really, it's come to at the end of the day, it came down to Casey going for a risky strategy and not being able to deny the scout, and of course the cross map. The distance between the cross position probably favored Bako as well, but you've got to give credit for Bako. He got the scout in, he got the Zealot in, he persisted with his scout, and he microed well, and that's one thing that Bako has shown consistently in this game, his ability to micro. Casey managed to get us around another Dragoon, but meanwhile all those SCVs are not mining. He's got about 5 or 6 SCVs mining at his main, but it's not really going to be enough. Bako down, deciding to focus on the SCVs, taking another couple of his SCV down. He's got a couple of Dragoons sitting outside doing nothing, so that's relatively poor micro by him. He's concentrating all his micro obviously on the true Dragoons as well as continuing to produce units at his base, but he should probably set the rally point just inside Casey's base to allow those Dragoons to come in. So now he finally brings those true Dragoons into play, and Casey's SCV force that he was using to try and fight off the Dragoons has been whittled out. Casey fighting to the last man obviously, because this is a decider game. The winner of this game obviously through the next round, but undoubtedly it's going to be Bako. So Casey now finally GG's. GG to Bako. Bako destroying Casey comfortably in that game. Casey's rush failing, one rush too many, and he goes out, and he's out of the OSL, and deservedly so in my opinion. Maybe I'm just bitter about Jaedong, but great play by Bako. GG guys, this is Klazart. Thanks for listening, and I'm sorry to disappoint all Casey fans out there, but I'm sorry, I just don't agree that he is Boxer in any way, shape or form, regardless of his previous OSL championship. This is Klazart guys, thanks for listening.